What's up, bookish people? This is Aishwarya. It's a new month, which only means one thing. It means a new TBR list and new reading goals. My September TBR is humble because I want to set some realistic goals. I have a small baby, I cook 3 times a week, have chores, and a husband whom I love very much and would like to spend time with, so I want to be absolutely kind to myself and not feel guilty about not reading enough. Let's get into my small but mighty TBR. Tom Lake by Ann Patchett. Reese's Book Club picked this book in August and I was very intrigued by it. I've enjoyed some of the books recommended by this book club, so thought I would give this one a read. Lara has 3 daughters who return to their family orchard to spend some time with their mother during the pandemic. The daughters ask their mother to tell them about her past lover Peter Duke, who's a famous actor, while they're picking cherries. Lara had worked with him at a theatre company named Tom Lake. The narrative follows Lara as she shares glimpses from her past, tells them about her acting days, how she met their father while she chooses what to tell them and what to keep with herself. Ann Patchett is known for her versatile writing and creating relatable characters and relationships. The book also has an above average rating on Goodreads, so I'm reading it this month. How to Sell a Haunted House by Grady Hendrix. There had to be horror fiction on my TBR because it's fall. Grady Hendrix has written so many horror books and this is a new one by him. It was released in July this year. The book is about Louise, whose parents die and leave behind a family home in Charleston. Now Louise doesn't want to go home because she has a 5-year-old who she doesn't want to leave with her ex. Plus, she also has a brother Mark who she doesn't have the greatest relationship with. But both the siblings need money, so she needs to go back and get the house ready so that it can be sold. The house is full of memories of her childhood and things that belong to her parents, like her mother's dolls and puppets collection. What can be better than a haunted house with dolls and puppets? Spooky! I do hope this book is nerve-wracking and scary. I like horror stuff, and then I also stay up at night clinging to my husband because I feel scared. It is so weird. Maybe it's my fascination with the whole afterlife concept that make me grab a lot of books like this. The next one is Every Rising Sun by Jamila Ahmed. 1001 Nights is a collection of Middle Eastern folktales compiled in Arabic during the Islamic Golden Age. It's often known in English as the Arabian Nights. This book is said to be a take on 1001 Nights. In 12th century Persia, Shahrazad discovers that Malik Shahriyar's wife Fataneh is cheating on him. She tells Shahriyar about her infidelity through an anonymous poem and he gets so angry that he has his wife beheaded and doesn't stop at that. He marries 3 more women and has them beheaded. Now Shahrazad has to do something to stop Shahriyar from marrying more women and getting them murdered after the wedding night. So she volunteers to marry Shahriyar and every night she tells him a story and leaves it hanging so that she gets to live another night. How interesting is this concept? I'm so excited about this book. I grew up on Middle Eastern folktales like Alif Laila, Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves. I was born and raised in India and these folktales were televised. Every Sunday kids would huddle up around the television and watch these stories. There was magic, there were mystical creatures like jinns and sirens. I just can't wait to read this because of the nostalgia and also for more tales from the Arabian Nights. It would be safe to say that this book falls under fantasy and magical realism. 2 really exciting books are coming up this month and those are already pre-ordered for the September TBR. Evil Eye by Etaf Rum coming up on September 5th. Time magazine is calling this book the most anticipated book of the year. Yara, a Palestinian American woman, has a traditional family which is very conservative. She wants to escape her family and the dramatic relationship that she has with her mom, so she gets married and moves to the suburbs. She feels she has done well for an American woman with a Palestinian heritage. She has a degree in arts, has a good job, 2 daughters, and balances her duties of being a wife and a mother well with her professional life. Until the day she has an altercation with a colleague and is put on probation. Her mom hints that a family curse is behind everything that is going wrong in her life. Yara is forced to revisit her childhood to search for clues behind her general dissatisfaction from her life. This book talks about lasting effects of intergenerational trauma and what it takes to break the cycle of abuse. If you know, I'm a Canadian of Indian heritage, so I know how it is when your cultural values clash with the values of a new country where you immigrated. There is a clash of thoughts between generations and many times you have to teach your parents about new concepts that they might not understand completely. You are in a hurry to make the older generation understand why some things don't work anymore, and the older generation wants to stick to what they know best. I'm really interested in knowing about Palestinian culture and what are some beliefs that women live by. I aim for diversity when I pick up books because there's no better way to learn about other cultures than reading a book. The next book on my list is Rouge by Mona Awad. Belle is a dress shop clerk who is obsessed with beauty. She spends hours watching skincare videos. Her estranged mother Noelle is the same, obsessed with outdoor beauty. Belle's mother dies unexpectedly and Belle's finds herself back in Southern California dealing with her mother's debts. At the funeral, Belle meets a strange woman who offers information about her mom's mysterious death, along with a video invitation about an exclusive spa, or should I say a cult, which will transform her beauty. So she gets lured into joining the spa because her mother was a member too. At the spa, she discovers the frightening secret behind her mother's obsession with beauty and the dark forces that lie behind the mirror. This is a gothic fairy tale with sprinkles of horror. It's currently optioned for film by Fremantle and Sinastra even before it's released. Plus, the author has so many awards to her name that it might take me more than a minute to list all of them. This book is about the dark side of beauty and has a complicated mother-daughter relationship. Another one of those. There is that message too about how as a society we are obsessed with beauty and what's on the outside. If time permits, I will also read a book that was on my August TBR, but I couldn't finish it. Untamed by Glennon Doyle was the nominee for Best Memoir and Autobiography in 2020. It's a memoir about a woman who learns that motherhood doesn't only mean slowly dying for your kids by sacrificing yourself every day, but it also means teaching them the essential lessons, allowing them to fully live their lives. It talks about body positivity, setting boundaries for oneself, and overall acceptance of one's being. I'm a new mom, so this book seemed very relevant for me. Also, I like to have at least one memoir on my TBR every month. You get to learn some real lessons from the stories of real people. 6 books, 30 days. Let's see how I do. I will talk about whether these books were a hit or a miss at the end of the month, so do subscribe if you would want to watch more from me. Let me know what you're planning to read this month. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, keep reading.